I previously explained how the assertion that Israel occupies Gaza is a black and white issue, that it's just absolutely categorically untrue. And I acknowledge that elsewhere, namely in West Bank, it's a different story, and there is a basis to the assertion Israel is present. But it requires explanation, as does the assertion that Israel occupies the Golan Heights. And for both of those places, we have to go back, as we do with regard to Gaza, to the '67 war, when Israel's Arab neighbors launched war against Israel, and Israel failed. As I mentioned in the video concerning Gaza, Gaza was part of Egypt, and Egypt was part of the invading forces. Israel took control of Gaza in its victory, and Israel also took control of the West Bank, which was part of Jordan, because Jordan was one of the invading forces. The Golan Heights, to Israel's north and to its east, was part of Syria, and Syria also invaded, and Israel ended up prevailing. So Israel took control of the Golan Heights. Now, the Jordanians, the people who call themselves the Palestinians who reside in the West Bank, are actually originally Jordanians. They were part of Jordan. Jordan has never wanted to have the West Bank back for reasons of political expediency and unrest. There are different Muslim factions, and the ruling family in Jordan is concerned with being overthrown, and the majority sect is not the ruling sect, and that's the sect that the Palestinians in Jordan adhere to. So it's problematic for Jordan, and Jordan does not want to take them back. Israel, at the end of the '67 war, had offered to return the West Bank to Jordan as part of negotiating peace and the recognition of Israel. And it was rejected. What happened was, later in 1967, after the Six-Day War and Israel's resounding victory, the Arab League had a meeting in Khartoum called the Khartoum Summit. And they unanimously agreed to reject Israel's call for peace in what is referred to as the famous or infamous three no's: no recognition of Israel, no negotiation with Israel, and no peace with Israel. And so Israel has continued to control, in great part, the West Bank. It's subject to nuances there too, because there are actually three different areas of the West Bank under different controls. But Israel has been present, including with Jewish settlers who live there. But it's because there's never been an ability to negotiate a peace agreement, and Israel needs to have a presence there to secure itself against attacks. The Golan Heights is a different story. The Golan Heights was part of Syria. It is on a high ground, as the name suggests, Golan Heights, and it overlooks the valley in Israel. It is a strategically important location because of that. The Syrians had the ability to fire rockets from the top and guns from the top of the Golan Heights into Israel, Israeli citizens. And we only have to go back to the year 500 BC to the Chinese military treatise called The Art of War by Sun Tzu, who was a Chinese general and tactician. And to this day, it is a famous book that military scholars read. And one of the principles, and it's common sense, one of the principles is that whoever controls the high ground has a strategic advantage. And so it is with the Golan Heights. And as long as Syria remains a hostile neighbor, which it especially is now with the overthrow of Assad, as long as Syria, the Golan Heights remains a strategically necessary location, and Syria is an enemy or potential enemy. Israel cannot cede control. Unlike the situation with the West Bank, however, there are no Syrians or Arabs, non-Israeli Arabs, who live in the Golan Heights, so it's not the same hot button issue as with uh, uh, the West Bank. But those are the facts that need to be taken into account. And again, as with anything else I say, don't take my word for it. Go find out for yourself, do your research, be a critical thinker, and come to your own conclusion.